It's morphin' time. Pterodactyl.
Hi there, this is Datila with the Rangers of Wrestling, me, the Wrestling Time Post Show. And for tonight, I will be reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so Monday Night Raw kicked off actually with Kevin Owens and his best friend, Seth freaking Rollins. They were basically talking about how tonight was their time, their ticket to WrestleMania. Because if you guys know, they were scheduled to be in a triple threat tag team match with Alpha Academy and RKBro for the tag team titles. So before the match started, there was this whole segment with them and then Alpha Academy came out and they said that one of the things that I liked was when Kevin Owens said was like Shorty G sucks and so does Otis, Master Gable and Prize Pupil Otis then come out, according to Chad Gable. And he says that they're going to WrestleMania as tag team champions. And then it cuts to the back, and Matt Riddle says he has an extended vocabulary. And, him and Randy then come out, and then we get the triple threat tag team match. So what I really liked about this match is, it pretty much took up the whole first hour, but I really, really liked it. It was a great match, great showcase of tag team talent, even though Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens are not a tag team. But I was actually, even though they're not a tag team, I was actually pulling for them to win this. I actually really wanted them to win. I wanted is it Team Seth and Kevin or Team Kevin and Seth? But I wanted them to win the tag titles. Or at least this match should have been at WrestleMania. But there was other plans, WrestleMania plans for Kevin. All right. So one thing that I liked was when Seth Rollins did the crossbody to Matt Riddle and Chad Gable. And of course, Kevin and Seth worked beautifully together throughout this match. I like that double DDT to Seth Rollins and Chad Gable by Randy Orton. Kevin Owens ended up saving the match for his team. Okay, so this is where things got interesting. Randy Orton bounced Kevin Owens and Chad Gable on the announce table, but with the help of Matt Riddle, he was able to bounce Otis off that table. There was a superplex to Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Chad Gable by Otis, which was amazing. Now, I like the ending sequence too. You had a Chad Gable who got stunnered and he got curb stomped. But that pretty much signified the end of this match. It really did. And they should have won this match. But what happened? What happened, you ask? Matt Riddle came in and he stole the pin from Seth Rollins. And you could see Randy Orton like holding on to Kevin Owens to prevent him from breaking up the pin. Poor Kevin and Seth were so distraught afterwards. They couldn't even say anything afterwards. You saw Kevin looking like this, and then Seth, they were just so distraught because there goes their ticket to WrestleMania. And then at the end, so they cut a promo, and I like that Randy says he's having a lot of fun. He hasn't had this much fun in over 20 years. And then he says he's going to say the F word. It's a word that he hasn't said in over 20 years. Now, I thought it was a certain F word, but it ended up being the word friend. So I thought it was the other F word. But I thought that was really interesting. And it shows Randy's just having a great time with this character. All right. Oh, but the best part, before I move on to the next match, the best part in this match was when Chad Gable did like a backflip and Randy Orton caught him into the RKO. That was a tremendous spot. Then we had the 24/7 championship match. It was Dana Brooke versus Tamina. Dana Brooke in her hometown. I'm surprised. It wasn't really like a squash match. This match really kind of didn't do it for me. It was just a filler. And Dana Brooke won in her hometown. Surprise, surprise. Normally WWE allows wrestlers to lose in their hometown. And then Tozawa at the end accused Dana Brooke of cheating. So After this, we get a segment with Mike the Miz, Logan Paul, and they're basically talking about how Dominic is riding his dad's coattails. The Miz saying that he's accomplished pretty much everything that Rey Mysterio has accomplished, but the difference is that he gets booed and Rey Mysterio doesn't get booed. So he's upset. Of course, he says that the only place he doesn't get booed is in his hometown of Cleveland. They bring out Jerry the King, and Jerry is saying that, oh, Cleveland should host a WrestleMania, but the Miz says that Cleveland is not worthy of hosting a WrestleMania, that they can't even afford the pyro. So I was like, wow, like the only place that cheers for you, you're gonna insult and diss? Like, oh my god. But it's typical Miz though. Typical Miz. But I don't know why they did a segment with Jerry Lawler when they're feuding with the Mysterios. They should have done a segment with the Mysterios, but I guess it is what it is. All right, so then we get Dirty Dawgz versus Bron Breakker and Tommaso Ciampa. So I guess this is carrying their feud from NXT. I really don't watch NXT 2.0, so I'm not entirely sure as to how this feud started, but it wasn't a bad match. Bron Breakker making his debut on the main roster. So obviously they do see him as a star. And what makes him different than Keith Lee, Andrade, is that he's a Vince McMahon creation. So obviously he's going to get that push. Not like those others, they weren't Vince McMahon's creations, they were Triple H creations. Hence why they did not get the treatment and push that they deserved. But of course, Tommaso Ciampa and Bron Breakker are victorious in this match. And then Ziggler says that he's going to take the title off of Breakker. So I guess he has a match tomorrow. So I don't watch NXT, but if anybody can fill me in on what happens, by all means, let me know. So then, Steve saying blah, blah, Breakker. Yeah, that's funny. Michael 101591 saying, well, I was like, why is Bron Breakker on Raw when he came out? Yeah, I was like, why is he on Raw? I don't know. So then we had Omos versus Apollo Crews, but before the start of the match, Omos said that he wasn't waiting around for his WrestleMania moment, that he was taking it. So Omos is still really green. He's unfortunately the great Khali and not like the Undertaker. But because this match with Apollo Crews was kind of rough, and Apollo Crews deserves so much better. Although that stare down between him and Commander Aziz, I feel like maybe that'll be almost his WrestleMania opponent, probably. Because, I mean, would I like to see that match? That can happen on a random episode of Raw. It doesn't need to be at WrestleMania. Michael 101591 saying a snooze fest with that match with Great Khali 2.0 and Apollo. Song? Do you mean snooze? Okay. Okay, so then things get interesting with an Edge segment. I like how he comes out with that purple lightning. That was actually pretty cool lightning. Comes out and then like he doesn't even come out to his usual entrance music. It's just a purple lights and stuff. So he says, "You think you know me?" Kind of like how his theme song says. And he says, clearly, AJ Styles doesn't. Let me see. Michael 101591 saying, God, I will be going to the bathroom when Great Khali 2.0 and Commander Z, if that takes place at WrestleMania. No new Raw song for the opening sucks. That Edge Taker tonight. Yes, definitely. So like I said, he was saying that AJ Styles doesn't know him. And that he knows he's at home watching. And he says that he did it for AJ. He says he wants the Pitbull AJ, not the tag team person AJ. He wants, and he said that ironically, AJ Styles helped him too. He says that it let me see. Michael 101591 says, my eyes are hurting from those eyes when Edge came out. Really? Mine weren't, but I do wear glasses. They're actually hurting right now, but not during the Edge segment. So he said it's a him that he's never met, before, but that he's fallen in love with. He says he feels the need to control what happens in the ring and in the wrestling industry. So I'm actually really liking this edge, this heel edge. So apparently AJ Styles has neck contusions. So they're questioning as to whether or not he'll make it to WrestleMania. We're 4 weeks away. I'm pretty sure AJ Styles will make it to WrestleMania. So we get a backstage segment with Kevin Owens, who says he won't lie. He doesn't want to feel like he did earlier in the night. And he has an epiphany. And he's got an idea to get to WrestleMania. And that we would find out tonight. So before I go any further, the Wrestling Observer did report that Becky Lynch will miss Raw due to a fractured voice box. The injury took place at Sunday's house show in Allentown. So that explains why she was not at Raw tonight. Steve Callahan saying the lights tripped me out. Michael 101591 saying I was waiting for Edge to bring out Lita like old times. Huh? That's funny. So then we got Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. When the hell did they become a tag team? Versus Carmella and Queen Zelina. The match wasn't too bad. But, I mean, again, when did they become a tag team? It was totally random. I mean, and I thought Rhea Ripley was going to enter the singles competition, considering the fact that she just left her old tag team of her and Nikki ASH, and now she's in another tag team. But this is what happens when you don't care about the division, and you split up the tag teams that you do have, and then you release them. Like, the Iconics, they were an actual team. They got split up. You had Tegan Nox and Shotzi, they were split up. You had Natalya and Tamina, they were split up. You had Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, they were split up, and Nia Jax was released. I don't even know what the hell Shayna Baszler is doing. Michael 101591 saying, LL, they break Rhea away from Nikki only to put her with Liv. Like, WTF. So basically the stipulation to this was that if Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley won, they would be added to the match at WrestleMania. I don't even know why. Okay, let me double check my notes. And y'all know I take notes. I don't recall Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley beating Queen Zelina and Carmella last week for them to earn this opportunity. What did they do to earn this opportunity? I cannot find anything on my notes, which means they didn't do absolutely nothing to earn this opportunity. This means that they were just thrown together and given this opportunity. Just like Naomi and Sasha Banks, they reunited for no reason and just thrown together into this opportunity. We don't need the women's tag team titles defended at Mania. That is true. I don't know why they're doing the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Championships all on one night. They should have done SmackDown on one night and the Raw night too. I don't understand that. I do not understand that at all. But it is what it is. But anywho, so Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley end up winning this match because Carmella got distracted with her fiance Corey Graves and left Queen Zelina hanging. So that to me tells me that they're planting the seeds for them to eventually split up, probably at WrestleMania. That's probably going to be the reason why they lose. Who's winning this? I don't know, and I really don't care. Then we had the new United States champion Finn Balor versus Austin Theory. It wasn't a bad match. We've seen this match before. But, I liked how Finn Balor bounced Austin Theory off the floor. But the one thing I will say, this match ended in a no DQ because Priest came out of nowhere, grabbed Finn Balor's neck, and attacked him. And then, of course, Austin Theory adds insult to injury by taking a selfie. And what more can we say about that? So, the main event. Technically, that was the main event, if you ask me. So, to close the show, Kevin Owens came out. He said he wants to host the most stupendous Kevin Owens show at WrestleMania. And he starts listing all these Texas legends, which I thought was hilarious. He says JBL. But he says that JBL's horns would probably be much more entertaining than JBL himself. Booker T, who he calls a hypocrite because even though he's from Texas, he spent the majority of his career in a tag team called Harlem Heat. And then last but not least, he calls out HBK, who he can't have on his show because he's a proud Texan, because HBK is a proud Texan and he's a proud Canadian. And so out of respect for Bret the Hitman Hart, he will not have HBK on his show. So then he starts talking about how he's going to, so there's one person left and how he could drink, he's gonna center this person, that this person can't even walk, that they probably need a cane or stuff like that. And let me see, KO show at Mania, blah, who cares? Michael 10159 says, I don't want to see Stone Cold back in the ring. I think no one wants to send out his send-off at WrestleMania team with The Rock was great and good enough. It seems like it's not a match. It's just a segment with Kevin Owens. So he probably just gonna come out there, cut a few promos, give KO the center, have a couple beers, call it a night, and get a paycheck. That's what I think. So yeah, so he called out Stone Cold, and so the rumors were true that it was gonna be KO and Stone Cold at WrestleMania, but it looks like it's not going to be a match. It's just gonna be a segment. And speaking of news, we found out during Raw through Bleacher Report that Vader is going to be inducted into this year's WWE Hall of Fame alongside The Undertaker. Congrats to Vader. I'm sure he's earned it, and so has The Undertaker. But that pretty much concludes tonight's show. For my overall rating, let me see. I really like the opening segment and tag match. I really like that Edge segment, so that's 3 things. Omos versus the Commander, yeah. Raw was awful as usual, 1 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Oh my god, you guys are giving it low ratings tonight. So I like 3 things. I really did. Out of everything that happened tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 2.5 out of 5 and a 6 out of 10. Raw was bad. It was okay. It wasn't too bad, but we've seen better. But it could have been worse, too. It could have been worse. It could have been a 0 or a negative number if you want to do that route. But overall, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't the worst we've seen. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And may the power protect each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.